What is your experience with food from your culture being Americanized?
I feel like that happens a lot when I was in like elementary school, middle school, and like high school because like I don't know what they do, but like whenever I tried like the chicken at like the at my high school, for example, like the like kung pao chicken, like it just doesn't have a pow to it. It's just like I don't remember like the taste was completely off because like it's not spicy, it's just more sweet. I understand like American palate is different from like Chinese from like other different cultures' palates, but it's like I feel like at some point you Americanize it too much where you lose the cultural food and it's just there.
So, I don't know if this is a real word. I guess like Americanized somewhat. It's Americanized depending on where it's from. I would say like for me, because I'm Vietnamese, a lot of famous dishes are like banh mi or like pho and like porridge and stuff like that are very Americanized in the US. Just because a lot of it comes from, at least from Vietnam, it's like associated with like home cooked food or something like familial and very collectivistic. So everyone is always like with each other. We always like get back to our parents and stuff like that. With it being like an Americanized food, it kind of loses that sense of like uh, collectivism, that sense of like being together with other people. Since it's made for restaurants or made for people, it's not necessarily like that familial kind of factor, and so we kind of lose that in eating in Americanized kind of ways of ethnic foods.
I feel like if you ever show food to someone, like you can't say no to food. And if it's delicious, which I feel like a lot of Chinese cuisine is, it's always going to give someone a positive impression of whatever country it's from. But staying true to culture wise, I feel like it doesn't really stay true to culture. It's more like a spin-off of the culture, but like it's a good it's like a good window. It's like a good door to open up to like all the other to the what the culture has as a whole. And then from there they can just step off from that door and like explore like what other cuisine there is, and maybe they can get it from like a more authentic area, or like one day maybe just go to the country and like eat there.
With it being in America, it's kind of just there to be there, if that makes sense, or just made it to like not culturally appropriate, but like try to make copy the culture. Like it just loses that like authenticity if you do uh decide to eat like at a US kind of ethnic food group store, instead of like eating authentically at somebody's house or something like that. It loses that like authenticity of like, oh, making the dish and then like serving the dish and then like talking about where this and this comes from.
Cultural food, like if you alter it, it's going to be harder to expose people to like the true culture of a food. But like once they do get past the altered version, or like they hit the true origin, that's when I feel like become truly cultured. I feel like by altering cultural foods, if they know it's altered and they don't explore further beyond that, then they're still kind of ignorant about like the true origins of something like that, because they're not willing to go further. They think they know, but it's like, do they actually know?
For my parents, they would tell me like, oh, this is how this was formed like in the middle of the war or something like that, and it kind of brings that like story in the background of it, and then it brings it to the dish as well. And so like having it being made alters that and changes that, and then people who eat it don't necessarily have that whole like story in the background, which I think is really important to food. I don't know why I think of when I think of America, I think of like mass production. And so having that like mass production of just getting things out there for, I don't know, like for money or just to like meet the standards and the quota and stuff like that loses that familial feel. Like for example, pho is made like at home with a bunch of people from like ingredients that other people bring, and you kind of bring it together and you like talk, and then you kind of just like do different things to make it work. And so there's like that authenticity and like that family feel. In a restaurant, being like away from home kind of loses that, and so I feel like that just doesn't fully immerse like the person in the culture. I've seen people who have like tried to make Viet dishes and they're not Viet and it's not the same, but I guess they're trying, so I guess it kind of works. But it's like, I don't know, there's just people who are very genuinely like interested in learning how it works and like learning how to make the dish, if that makes sense, or like the whole story behind it. I think that's like really awesome, because it's like that really does preserve the like authenticity of the dish and everything that comes with it.